High-Res Expo, that's the big end cap on the year for everyone in the console minor league, SPL, us the fans, everyone that enjoys SMITE esports, not even just SMITE, Paladins, cosplay, all that stuff. This is where you want to be. Head to highresexpo.com, pick up your tickets now. That way you get to come see me and everyone else that you love there in person, but I understand if me is the primary reason that you're going to be going. A guy that you're going to be trying to avoid is right here next to me, Ryan Aggro Bailey. Do your best, though I can guarantee nothing.
Listen, I'm going to be doing stuff around the arena. If you stay away from the SMITE main stage, you're probably got a pretty good shot at not seeing me.
Yeah, so hopefully then you can enjoy yourself there, just hanging out with everybody else and all the other cool people from the scene. Make sure that you're there for that event. But we're actually going into a pretty big matchup here in the console league. It's going to be a rival going up against Dobbos Disciples. This is 1 and 2 here in Xbox EU, but you can tell where that gap's coming from. Those two losses from Dobbos are, of course, at the hands of rival.
I mean, look, if Dobbos Disciples win this, it was 13 weeks, so they'd have one more matchup against rival, so they would have to win out from here if they want to have a shot at being number one. And they've got the potential to do it. I mean, we've seen this team play at a very high level. We've seen them beat rival before in Phase 1. It ultimately ended up not counting, blah, blah, blah. But overall, we know that this team is capable.
Yes, they are stronger, but I think that I said this on Esports Weekly last week when we covered console. I'm at the point now where I'm just straight up, it's no longer a push in my mind. No. I favor rival heavily, and Dobbos has upset potential, but it would be exactly that, an upset, man. Rivals earned that at this point by repeatedly beating Dobbos when they play heads up, by repeatedly being the strongest team here in this region, and I think they're the second to only to Hype Unit over in NA Xbox at this point. I have really high expectations for this rival unit every time they step onto the field.
I completely agree with you. I mean, if you haven't been favoring rival, then you probably haven't been watching their games. I mean, this team is the best team in their region. They have been for a long time. A little bit of a question mark towards the very beginning of the year with Vaporish Coast moving over to Dobbos Disciples and the Disciples coming out of the gate hot, but we're in September now, and order has been restored. Rapio's team is the best in the region, and as it always has been and might always be.
That's right. Rapio's been around for a long time here now, man. Davey really stepping in for this team into that power vacuum, basically, is the only way to refer to what Coast left on that. When you lose someone who is a star like that from your team, it's not easy to fill, and I think Davey has done an excellent job. Jingwei banned out along with Thoth and Odin. Not your typical first bans, I would say, maybe aside from the Thoth. Odin makes some sense on console, but it does leave the door wide open for Rapio, who were just gassing up to take the Thor.
Love it. It does leave open the Olorun, and as we've said, Coast is the guy for this Dobbos Disciples team, so he should definitely be piloting this, and I like it. Give your best player the tools to succeed. Olorun and a Geb to pocket you.
Yep.
I like what Dobbos Disciples have, but Rapio on the Thor is scary.
It is certainly scary. That's why we're going to need a big game from Switch, I think, on this Geb, if it keeps him going. I mean, it's tough, right? Because we were giving a lot of credit to Vaporish Coast, and I think not quite enough credit to DineOhSaw for having his back that whole time that rival team was looking as strong as they were, even challenging Astral and Hype or whatever they were at the time. So we'll see if Switch can kind of be that same backup there for DineOhSaw, or for Vaporish Coast perhaps, that he's used to having.
I agree. I do think that Switch has played well on top of that. I mean, yes, DineOhSaw was a big part of rival success, and Switch has been a big part of Dobbos Disciples' success. But he's going to have his work cut out for him here because this is a lot of damage on Rival's roster. Thor, AMC, Merlin as your top three. Leaves you susceptible in the front line, definitely lacking, but you can get those a little bit later on. I love Rival's first three picks.
Yeah, this is scary, isn't it? They decided that we'll take whatever CC is left over. That's fine, as long as we know we've got the damage to follow it up, and they've absolutely got it in spades. The Muzen Cobb equals instant mid pressure. The Merlin long lane, I assume, for Davey over there will also have a ton of pressure over whoever he's facing, and it'll be difficult to deal with in that mid game. But Susano does add an interesting jungle into the mix. Probably take a little bit of while to get online, but should be strong.
And I love this King Arthur pick as well. If Rival don't find enough CC in these last two picks, this King Arthur can really give these backliners a problem. I do think it'll probably be Merlin in mid, by the way, just because Fly loves that pick so much. I would expect to see him on that Merlin in mid, but certainly can go either way.
Interesting if that's what it'll be. The Osiris comes through. This is something that Predators likes to play, but he can sometimes get into trouble. Predators loves to dive deep.
Sure does.
Too deep sometimes, and King Arthur can absolutely punish that. USB and Predators have been battling back and forth for a while now, so I expect that matchup to be hot. But this is very interesting. Perhaps it's not the Susano jungle as Daji comes in. Where are we expecting all this to go?
Susano ADC, Olorun mid. Dodgy jungle is my guess. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, I
if it's Merlin over there,
spiel about Olorun for Coast, but it's fine. I'm not mad about it.
Well, we'll see how it all ends up working in action. Rival and Dobbos, let's kick it off.
Everything is purple. Game number 1, Team Rival versus Dobbos Disciples. Welcome to our second match in the Console League. My name's Tom Badiger. Over there is going to be Anatoly Alexeyenok. You were just on the desk, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there earlier from that PS4 EU set there, MB3, getting the better end of that one. Their second victory thus far.
Or a multi-role specialist. Some multi-role specialists here on Dobbos Disciples as well. Vaporish Coast. Same role, but a much different character than we used to see in the Pentakid play. He's out here on the Assassin this time around, the Susano carry, like Ryan kind of guessed is the wrong word. Inferred, I say. But so, what's your take on the Susano?
Trying to do his best Emilito impersonation. You know, that played Ratatasker in the setup against Space Station Gaming. I think that there's some merit to the Assassin in the long lane. Against a squishy mage or even a hunter, you know, they don't have the highest health pool to play. We saw how Snoopy brought out the set way back at MSI and what he was able to do with it. Same exact idea. You have an Assassin all-inning these squishy characters, and once Susano does have access to the Typhoon at level 5, maybe 3-4 points at Stormkata, that level 6-7 markers where you're going to be seeing Vaporish Coast go for that all-in play.
Vaporish Coast going to be here by himself. DineOhSaw shaded over to help out Davey just a little bit, but Vape's support switch is going to be over there in the middle lane next to the Olorun. So the 1v2 scenario theoretically should be able to get more experience in gold. That said, just now hitting level 3. Davey's been there for a moment or two.
Expecting a little bit of just pressure in the mid lane from Rival because of this Khepri versus the Geb. Geb struggling a little bit thus far to get that level 2. DineOhSaw assisting with that Oracle Vision. There should be more safety now for Davey to still continue to farm. Hard to lock down Davey, I think. He does have access to the Flicker. He can easily stand switch even before level 5 to still have some tools to play with once Vaporish Coast does commit.
Sure.
So as squishy as Davey is, Vaporish could even be squishier.
Certainly something to keep an eye on. Expect Vaporish to be squishy. I really don't want to see, too many defensive items. Some hybrids? Sure. I'm down for some hybrid items. Void Shield, Shifter Shield, what have you, depending on how it works out.
Blackthorns, maybe.
Yeah, sure. But miss me with like a Breastplate of Valor or something. Not exactly where I want to see Vaporish Coast. Not just because I think Susano does something very well. Mid lane switch is going to be set up and taken down. Rapio with the first blood. Nice combination of abilities there. Abduct into, well, everything. And Team Rival are able to take the first kill of the game and then turn it into a red buff.
Rapio not even backing quite yet. He's still sitting on his starter items right now, and that's a huge bounty because normally you back with tier 2 boots at this point in the game, or at least a minute earlier.
And Porsche Coast decides to get involved. Might be a poor choice. 3 players here kind of squash him up. Meanwhile, off screen, solo lane gank. Colossal shows up and takes care of Predators. Switch, again surrounded. He went down for first blood before. And the pull in. Vaporish Coast gets Davey, but a quick trade out. Switch falls down twice. And Vaporish Coast will pay for his transgressions. Rapio and DineOhSaw confirm the secondary kill. So 2 dead on the side of Dobbos Disciples. Rival leading 3-2.
It really looked like Vaporish Coast was about to get out after that 1-for-1 exchange, but DineOhSaw doing a great job abducting to disrupt that third Stormkata strike to get away. And before that, 2 kills on the left side of the map, that very important gank from Colosx to gank not only Predators, but invade the blue buff is going to allow OPUSB some more momentum in this matchup.
And a greedy mistake there from Vaporish Coast, going for the extra damage from the Stormkata. If he just walks away and Stormkata's his way out, there's no problem. But because he tried to get the 1 and the 2, the 2 first shots of the Stormkata on the enemy team fight, couldn't get out with the third, which is the dash. Not an egregious mistake. I think it's going to keep him in parity with his opponent Merlin instead of having the lead that he got from the kill. Like I said, not the end of the world. Certainly something he can continue with. About down quarter of a level, if you ask me. Davey's been just quietly farming here and doing a good job of it.
He's also splitting the farm, so that's kind of hurt Davey in the long run. Vaporish Coast is going to soak up at least these melee minions and the archers. Solo, one switch, needs to get back in there, though, because he has to get the Cataclysm. A Geb without Cataclysm. Not even really a Geb at that point. as DineOhSaw already having access to the Scarab's Blessing. I don't think Dobbos wanted that rotation to happen, but you got to adapt to whatever phase of the game you're currently sitting on.
Well, Dobbo doing a great job and trying to come in for the red buff, but Rival just doing a greater job and showing up on time. So Dobbos Disciples, that was the issue, was that the jungler showed up on time, but by himself.
Yep.
Team Rival brought 3 different players, and Colossal backs off. That's important. Vapor's Coast landed, and
that's a problem.
taken care of.
Yeah, no beads. He started off with the blink, so no CC immunity on
I
the
hate it.
Susano.
I hate it.
It's like the all-in strategy. He's thinking too much in the laning phase. He's not respecting that threat, which is the global pressure Thor.
I think I'm here for your thought process, but I think I challenge where Blink talks to me about team fights. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Vapor's Coast's mind is I would say not in the laning phase. I think we both can agree it's not where it should be.
It's in the kills. He wants to find the solo kills up against Davey. You can easily force out the flicker before using the blink.
Okay, now I see where you're going
And then you
for.
can blink after the Merlin for round number 2, because it is a long cooldown. It's about 20 seconds on the flicker, plenty of time to reset. And the only way that Vapor's Coast can ever truly survive against the Thor ganks is he has to already be channeling the Typhoon in preparation of the dunk to get the knock-up, buy some time for the duration of the stun to jet stream away.
I see your mentality now when you're thinking about the kill lane, right? Just jumping on Davey. I don't.
It's risky. It's a risk versus reward thing, you know, and getting punished for it, the reward not quite there yet.
Yeah, I hate it. But as far as this is concerned, the Porsche Coast able to take down Davey, no problem.
He used a blink to get there a little bit faster, so value from the Relic. Even though he did give up 2 deaths thus far, this is an opportunity for him to play catch-up and try to match that level 8 marker.
Circus of value. Sure, I'm here for it. We'll see how it works up. The Porsche Coast building into what could be a transcendence for now. 60-meter fly has help from the Khepri, and Rapio going to go up in the air. Olorun ultimate on cooldown now, and the re-engage is just short. Team Rival going to walk away.
The 50-meter fly forced to use the beats to prevent the pull. Despite having the Scarab's Blessing, you want to not have it to go back all the way in the thick of things, so smart use of the Relic there. A good opportunity to even maybe go for fly yet again on this immobile AMC. A good lead for Dobson with this level 8 marker. Could see some more plays out of this Olorun with that Sanctified Field.
Certainly could be. I'm expecting better plays from the Olorun with the Sanctified Field.
Sure.
That was a nice deterrent. I think that Dobbos Disciples might have been able to get something off of that play themselves, but as long as they didn't suffer, I think that's a big deal here. Colossal getting grabbed up, has some help from Switch, and that gets him out of the clutches of DineOhSaw. Wall separates, but it's a 4-on-2. Taken to the sky by the King Arthur, and DineOhSaw down to half HP. Popped. I apologize. I did not expect him to die there. What was that? Just the damage from the slam?
He had a lot of just follow-up damage out of Dobbos Disciple. Great rotation from OverPoweredUSB. The problem was twofold. DineOhSaw not having access to his ultimate, using it on 50-meter fly from the fight earlier, and then he also had no mana. He tried to invade that blue buff, and he used a couple of abilities and didn't have mana to abduct and dash away.
I did not expect that amount of damage. Here's a 30% HP.
Yeah, that's kind of what hamstring does. Kind of slaps you.
It really does. Oh, Maron. I did not expect that amount of damage.
Yeah.
Because of it, we're tied at 4. DineOhSaw certainly felt that one. He's had a strong game so far. Rapio can't hammer over the wall. A little bit short there, but again, DineOhSaw comes in the clutch. I don't think we talk about DineOhSaw enough. Maybe that's just the support syndrome, right? Supports rarely get the spotlight because they're not the ones going 12, 0, and 12. They're going 0, 5, and 15.
Yeah, it's very rare that we ever hand out an MVP for supports, but at the last MSI, Raffer, the support, being able to orchestrate and lead his group to the victory, because you're right, it's not the supports that go 12-0. That's Funballer and Dardis' job, but the supports enable those backliners to do what they have to do.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Obviously, Khepri just got eaten, but before, you know, Gold Fury, half HP, Team Rival looking for it. Thor goes up in the sky. Vape and Colossal are here. There's VaporishCoast, and Dobbos Disciples are able to snatch it away. No problem. Great play from the Susano carry. Now 2 blinks forward. Team Rival trying to run away. Knock him is strong, and here comes the Olorun ultimate, and the revive is late. 2 kills for VaporishCoast. It's 6-4, and the young carry able to do it. Fantastic plays so far. Gotta love it.
Oh, you have to be loving it if you're a Dobbos Disciple fan now. OPUSB, though, gonna get soloed for being between a rock and a hard place between that Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower. Rapio gonna hammer away. He gets hit, forced to use those beads, and off of 2 kills and the Gold Fury, make that 3 kills and a Gold Fury. They might even lose their speed.
That play on the right side was huge, totally. Not only do we see the Tier 1 tower go down, speed buff invade. Colossal might die for it. Has Switch as a target. Picks up the speed buff. But Predator's going to get another kill. And this is a big deal. Predator's level 12. He's a beast machine. And Switch going to fall down. DineOhSaw with the last hit. But what Predators did on the right side was fantastic. VaporishCoast right now is lit. He's having a fantastic game, no problem. But Predators with the answer back on the right side, that's going to keep that flame a little bit down. We see the back and forth, back and forth. If Dobbos are able to continuously do this, especially with the King Arthur, well, that's real big trouble. OverPoweredUSB certainly not going to be able to do it easy.
That
so
cripple,
nice look.
that cripple, too strong to get away from that one. Like adding more fuel to the fire for Rival now to come back into it. You have to know when to just back off, right? Like that Gold Fury needed to be reset. The speed buff was a little bit unnecessary. Defending the Pyromancer, like these 3 things are showing us how aggressive both of these teams are by nature. I think there's like a lot of bad blood between these 2 teams. VaporishCoast, formerly part of Rival, trying to make a statement. He doesn't normally play Susano, ever. Yeah. So this is him trying to take a shot at Rival with kills. And, you know, he's having a fantastic game, like you pointed out, by having these 4 kills and only 2 deaths, 0 assists. And I think that's what could lead Dobbos to the victory.
I'm there for it as well. I think if Dobbos Disciples are going to carry this small lead to a larger one and to a victory, it will be on the back of VaporishCoast as per usual, but I think Dobson and particularly OverPoweredUSB have to be particularly involved. If Colossal has an average game, let's say Colossal goes 2-4-4, but makes use of the powwow really well, I'm fine. I'm here. That's what we're looking for. VaporishCoast again dives his replacement.
Important timing as well, because Davey didn't have the Aegis quite yet. He was level 12, but he didn't back to base to purchase that relic. And not having Aegis against all that damage over time, it's an easy kill opportunity for Vaporish again. And even with Davey picking up the Aegis, you can still bait it out without use of the Typhoon. That's how much damage Susano provides with only 2.5 items completed.
Well, we're early on in this one, but we're tied at 8. The gold, slightly separated. Dobbos Disciples with a 1,200 gold lead, wave to wave. And that's really all off of a stolen Gold Fury. That was Rivals, up and down.
Oh, yeah.
Until VaporishCoast just said no, ulted the objective and took it away.
And the thing was, Rapio knew he was right there because he had used that Anvil of Dawn fly, forced 2 beats away the slow there. And because of the satellite global vision from Rapio, VaporishCoast kind of saw that, adapted pretty well. I think he blinked past the Anvil of Dawn, avoiding that hit.
Predators here one more time. Trying to defend the only blue buff he knows, but it's all about Colossal, who's able to take it. 2 levels down, I might add. The players from Team Rival a little bit too spread to support Dobbos Disciples. And trashed over, or excuse me, crossed over, just in case Rival wanted to make this into a team fight. I liked that shift over because that definitely could have been a team fight. Predators has been kind of out of control right now. Rapio was on that side of the map. Dobbos absolutely kind of expected a big fight there.
And I think they could have forced a fight as Rival, knowing that ColossxI, after invading that blue, took all that poke damage, forced to use that powwow. I'm surprised that Rapio was hesitant on that Anvil of Dawn, which is uncharacteristic from what we used to see out of the Rival jungler.
Yeah, usually very trigger happy when it comes down to the ultimate. This time around, gonna play it a little bit safer. Predators overpowered, 14 all. Has this lane gone kind of how you expected? The Osiris King Arthur matchup is one we see often.
Yeah, it is one we see often. I think there was that one gank from ColossxI to take advantage of Predators with an invade of blue. Other than that, and the one kill between the tier 1 and the tier 2 tower was very quiet, which was what we expect out of soul laners, to literally be non-existent until teamfights roll around, right? And I think Predator's rotation was imperative towards the Gold Fury, towards the Pyromancer. It doesn't surprise me that the tier 1 towers are still standing, though, because you just want to be able to get other objectives. The back camps, the blue buffs, these mid lane rotations.
The right side tier 1. Overpowered USB, able to grab some gold there for the T1. The Gold Fury, specifically the Oni variant, being pulled here by Dobbos. Last time around, Rival pulled, but Dobbos confirmed. A nice steal coming out from the carry. This time around, Dobbos looking for the big one themselves. DineOhSaw lurking, and his presence alone, the Khepri, will be enough to send Dobbos' disciples elsewhere and look for regular farm.
It's not even about the steal potential from DineOhSaw. It's like, oh, it's a Khepri, he's going to steal this Gold Fury, obviously. It's like, nah, he's going to root us, and then all this AoE damage follow-up out of Rapio, and Fly could be an issue, maybe even abduct somebody, force the beats, and that's the control out of support that you really want. And between Khepri and Geb, they've been so highly valued recently towards the later stages of Phase 2 that we're starting to even see it being banned away.
Well, it's one of those things also, not only do you have the situation, like you said, all of those tools, but as the tank, it's going to take a while for you to die, and your team can rotate over in that time period. And then all of a sudden, it's a team fight where the enemy team has used all of their resources, and you can take advantage. So, Dobbos playing that, it might seem extra safe, but perhaps just safe enough. DineOhSaw doesn't die off of that hamstring this time, and is able to wiggle away a little bit more tanky. 42 stacks plus the tank boots.
So once you blink in there as Vapor's Coast, he uses his 2 to try to pull in Davey, knowing that his beats were off cooldown, but you got to be anticipating what your opponent's going to do after your action, and the instant reaction is to flicker away.
Sure.
However, the cast animation of Wind Siphon versus the cast animation of Jetstream's a little bit faster. So you want to get the Jetstream off because you want to chase that opponent down from the flicker. You teleport to him, you reduce your cooldown by half, and then you're still in range of using the Wind Siphon anyway. A very slight misplay from Vapor's Coast, now not having the Blink Relic for 80 seconds.
Those are the mistakes, though, that matter at this level of play, you know? If you do that in your plat ranked game, you're probably fine.
Yeah,
maybe,
like in those
even
plat rank games, you're probably hitting the Wind Siphon off of your blink because the opponents are a little bit slow to react, but you're totally right. Between these two teams, they have the mechanics to match.
Oni Fury going down to Dobbos. Beautiful play and zone from OverPoweredUSB. Team Rival knew that was happening the entire time, Anatoly, but they just couldn't get involved. Now, Rapio going to get involved, landing on ColossxI, walling off the escape, but the powwow comes out first. Olorun ultimate to deny the backstage access, and here comes the frontward push. Predators gets ulted by the Khepri. No problem on the right side. Left side, however, DineOhSaw aggressed on by the King Arthur. Long-range shot can't catch up. Beautiful route again by DineOhSaw, but ColossxI finds a way in and puts him down.
And he'll be totally fine now. It's OPUSB into the backline, trying to chase with a nice double stun switch, even blinking in.
Love the follow-up coming out from the support. Rare is it, do you have that mentality as a support player to be the secondary initiation? And that's not how this team is drawn up. Switch is supposed to be the primary initiator, but because of the way this team fight crumbled, sometimes you gotta ad-lib, sometimes you gotta play jazz, and that's what Switch does. He switches it up, honestly, blinks behind, ready like he planned it, ults in. That's the cleanup. Tier 1, Tier 2, and then some. Dobbos Disciples on a tear. That's a 6K gold lead.
Very clean thus far out of this Chaos side, and you wouldn't expect it if you look at the history between these two teams. Thus far in Phase 2, Rival have won the 2 previous sets up against Dobbos Disciples back in Week 1, back in Week 5, only dropping 1 game out of the 5 that they've played between each other. So this is a good way to build momentum for Dobbos to finally get revenge.
20 minutes in, and Dobbos just had their way. Fantastic stuff from them. The next move will ultimately be the Fire Giant. King Arthur placing some vision around there right away. So Dobbos know what they're after. Good vision from Dobbos in general as they push into the enemy jungle. And the Fire Giant will just be the call. Oh, wow. 3 level 30, so it's not enhanced. And they have the damage. Don't forget, Oni Fury minions coming down the lanes as well. So Rival's got homework to do. Switch zoning out Predators on the left side, and the call from Team Rival is...
They just get it.
Forget about it. Fire Giant goes to Dobbos, free and clear.
But the only thing they're going to get off of it is a Tier 1 tower, not even worth it. It's not as though Rival were unaware. DineOhSaw was right there, but I guess they were just too spread out to get any value from it, because the way they handled that Gold Fury, it was really bad. So the Fire Giant was going to be even worse.
You mean, oh, okay. Rival had another option. Do you think Rival, you said not really worth it, just getting that Tier 1. Do you think Rival should have contested?
Yes, I think they should have. You have the Thor from a distance, even without Davey being present in a 4-on-5 this early on. Fire Giant does a lot of damage. It was an Oni Fury that Dobbos secured, not the Primal Fury. So that Fire Giant damage is at 100% full force. There's no mitigation there. You're not dealing as much damage to burn it through. No Frenzy being popped from Dobbos. So there was some stall tactics that Rival could have done. Like, even if you sacrifice 2 players for only 1 out of Dobbos, well, 4 players doing Fire Giant, not very optimal.
I'm with you there, totally. I think that if there is a reason to shy away from it, it's probably Dobson himself. The Olorun ultimate on the Fire Giant. I don't really want to mess with that, to be honest with you.
I agree.
But I'm there. 6K deficit, 20 minutes, you fight that Fire Giant. Absolutely.
I love the way Vapor's Coast played that. He actually jet streams Predators, but he just doesn't teleport to Predators until he backs away from the Judgment Tether to break that link, and then teleports back in. Dobbos Disciple really abusing this Fire Giant buff.
10K gold lead. No structures left, sans the burns. Disciples now walking in, separated just a little bit. The Olorun ultimate is down on the left side of the Phoenix. Easy for Dobbos, no problem. DineOhSaw relatively low. Try to get him in the backline, won't happen. The pull for Predators bad as well.
Rival can't really do much off of that. Rapio had a really solid wall, but that sanctified field from Dobson made it impossible for Rival to get in to defend their own middle Phoenix.
I like this play here from Didi, able to kind of make the loop around. It looked like they were fully retreating, and if anybody from Team Rival was caught in the jungle, they'd be able to kind of take it no problem. Dobbos ultimately have to fall back to catch the wave, but those are the easy kind of non-gambles that you can take. That's not a gamble at all to walk aggressively through the enemy jungle there, and there's a 40% chance, as I make the stats up, that there's a Team Rival member standing there, you know? You might just get the oopsie daisy, and if you can get it, you'll take it. Davey pulled in, pushed out, beads and Aegis on cooldown. Left side Phoenix gonna suffer the same fate as the mid lane one, albeit not as fast. The Olorun ultimate not here, but here comes a Porsche Coast on a Rapio, juggling him. The burp still stands for now, but with Rapio down, that opens the door. The Porsche Coast goes down, and the last hit on the bird. Both teams lose big, impactful players, and now Dobbos on the run.
Switch trying to get away, will have that CC immunity from the second half. It's a little bit of a bait and switch. Predators goes in, but he didn't want what Dobbos was serving.
You know, this is exactly what I was talking about. Dobbos can sit there, and there's a 40% chance Rival's going to do the wrong thing, and you can just backslap him. That was, you know, even with the 1 for 2, still not a victory for Team Rival. 2 for 2 makes that look even worse. Dobbos Disciples, they've got a mid lane Phoenix, they got a left lane Phoenix, they took 2 members of the opposite team, and they grabbed a Gold Fury, old-fashioned Gold Fury this time around. They're up the 11,000 gold they were when they started sieging the base, so that speaks to the little bit that Rival were able to answer back Anatoly. But Dobbos Disciples absolutely in the cockpit and driving towards home.
Yeah, if you expected Rival to contest a Fire Giant about 4 minutes ago, don't expect them to defend it this time around within 1 minute with fire minions trickling down the middle and the left side. A lot of tasks now at Rival's doorstep to be completed before they even bounce back and look for any sort of split pushing. Hard to really stop Dobbos on such a warpath.
Taking a brief reprieve in the action to take a look at some of the itemization, Toli. And I gotta say, this is the happiest I've been watching a Pro League level game in a long time. I agree with virtually everything that's going on. You've got what I think is a near perfect build here for the carry Susano Transcendence second item. You're gonna have a lot of time to build up those stacks, early damage into the cooldown reduction, and Titan's Bane to finish it off because you're low in the penetration. And then I look at the junglers. Let's look at Rapio across the way. He's got the Thor build, plus a Shifter Shield. Not only is it dummy amounts of damage, but it's also good protection against Colossal and Vaporish Coast that are finding things. Shifter Shield is also my quintessential Thor item. You got all this power to dunk it into your combo, and then when people start looking at you as you try to escape, you're boosted on the defensive end.
Sure.
I like a lot of these choices on both ends, Tony.
The most interesting one, I think, is Dobson's Lotus Crown. Even though we're seeing it on technically a Hunter, you have access to healing and getting 20 protections, you know, considering that that heal is not a burst heal, it's a heal over time. So that 5 seconds makes it about 8 seconds or so total of 20 protections. Not too bad during these Fire Giant sieges.
Multiple basic attack players on his team, so the Pythag's even more interesting. Dobbos looking for the siege one more time. 4-1 split push as the Daji gets it done in the middle lane, no problemo. Second kill of the Phoenix, worth noting. Colossal will group up with the rest of the squad, and DD are ready to push here on the right side. Ping's coming out as the fire minions on the left lane just toppled that of Team Rival's minions, and so somebody will have to ultimately pay attention over there. Here we are, Toli, looking at the right lane.
Rival gonna need to go and defend now. OPUSB diving that back line. DineOhSaw trying to do his best zoning, but he really can't save Davey.
Here's trouble. The Khepri ultimate's gonna be good, but how much time will that buy? Wonderful knockup. Vaporish Coast waits it out and takes him down. All 3 Phoenixes are toasted. Predator's gonna jump away with the ultimate. Saved up and served up. Double stun from Switch, but it's not gonna be enough. Dobbos Disciples falling back, playing this a little safe here. DineOhSaw's in trouble. Overpowered glances backwards. Predator still playing defense, and the Titan healthy as a horse. Dobson in trouble. Stinger hits, Bees hit. Dobbos Disciples now on the back foot. Team Rival, man, if they had a frenzy, now would be the time.
Trying to go in as DineOhSaw, but he might have bit off more than he can chew. Gonna be bailed out by Predators now. Dobbos not super healthy, but they have some fire minions right alongside.
I love this play. I think Rival are doing exactly the amount of push out that they need to. They didn't go past the Phoenix. They just went up to it. Left Phoenix respawns, and Dobbos can take it down in a heartbeat. Predator's gonna get aggressive. 1 versus 4. I don't like that. He's all by himself.
Oh,
he's surrounded. Ult's out.
Barely able to ult out. He just got that off cooldown. Rapio in the backline stuns out Dobson, receives a Geb Shield. Double knockup from Vaporish Coast. Barely! And the powwow.
Colossal with a beautiful timer there. Waits out the beads and can't find it. Falls down. Predators gets a kill, but DineOhSaw falls. Davies able to answer as well. 3 players alive for Dobbos Disciples. Try as they might. They cannot break the base. The minions will come in, but this is yard work for a 16-meter fly on the Bumblebee. Anatoly, we're just shy of a half hour. Dobbos tried to kick down the door, but denied entry. Great defense from Team Rival.
Definitely punishing out Dobbos' over-aggression. After the right side Phoenix fell, I think Dobbos got too antsy about getting more kills. Switch blinks in, uses a Cataclysm on 2 targets that were basically at the doorstep of their own fountain. As everyone from Dobbos was still rotating from that right side Phoenix. I think if there was a Cataclysm on top of the Titan in general to all in the Titan, because it was at its most vulnerable form, all 3 Phoenixes were down. And that's when you really want to commit onto the Titan. All the ultimates from Rival were expended on the defense. I'm surprised they just didn't go for the end.
You know, I get it. I think Switch was sitting there because the idea is if Dobbos gets 2 kills, they win the game.
Sure.
Predator should not go for this.
He might steal it with a 2.
That's how he should go for it. Just toss something out and run away.
That's right.
I'm fine with that.
Right through the wall.
But I think I see it. Switch is like, I got these 2 guys. If you kill them, we win. The problem was that Dobbos' follow-up damage was so far behind, and that's really what I saw. Disjointed, adrenaline, just kill the Titan, kill him, kill him, kill him. Oh, man.
And you can't give Rival any breathing room.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to punish you every given moment. This is what's separating Rival from Dobbos Disciple. Dobbos is a very talented team. They can win on any given Sunday, and they need to convert these advantages, though, if they're going to try to qualify towards the HRX placements. Rival is literally the only team in this league stopping Dobbos from doing so.
Mid Phoenix and left side have respawned here for Team Rival. 12,000 gold. Still matters. Definitely still matters. Players on Team Rival have a little bit to go to finish up their builds at the moment. Dobbos really just looking to finish off their boots.
Still tricky for Rival to contest this objective. Right side Phoenix about to respawn. Rival are poking though as if they want to stop them. Rapio, keep an eye on him. Trying to contest the likes of OPUSB. Not a favorable matchup for the Thor.
Switch is going to go in. I like this call. Team fight over the objective. Davey in trouble. He's able to blink away, no problem. Olorun ultimate going to go down, and Thor invited into the fray. Double knockup. Rapio could be in trouble. Does he have the Mjolnir? No way. Colossal hammers him home. Predator's pulled back in as he tries to ult, and Switch waiting for him over the wall. Khepri will save the life of Predators. Unless Dobbos waits it out, which they do. The blinks come forward. The pull onto Davey. DineOhSaw grabs Vaporish. Beautiful play by the old teammate. Dobbos 5-player strong. OP relatively low. Fire Giant not around their waists, so they won't have the HP 5. They do have Dobson.
The way OverPoweredUSB was zoning was so successful. DineOhSaw, Fly, and Davey all on the backside where their tier 2 tower used to stand, and Rapio Predators stuck in the blue buff in no man's land. Not enough range for DineOhSaw to get off that Scarab's Blessing on his Thor player.
Set up an ambush here. Dobbos Disciples looking for the surprise play. DineOhSaw tanky as all hell. Wiggled his way out of there. Predators finds an exit on the left side of the stage as well.
No other relic would have saved DineOhSaw's life there. A very smart, calculated pickup. Avoiding the pal-out, avoiding death. Still possible to play defense on the Fire Giant.
Predators here one more time. Rapio far. The Disciples look for the reset again. Enhanced Fire Giant will not be as easy as the last time around, despite the fact that they do have 1 Primal Fury.
Dobbos are getting unnecessarily poked out. Switch at 50% of Vaporish, around 80%. This is now Rival's time to secure the objective. Despite all the gold that they don't have compared to Dobbos, they have the health pool to play with.
For the moment, Dobson going to be able to heal his team up just a little bit. Some players healthy anyway. Predators jumped on. Still 75%.
They're trying to funnel Dobbos inside that corridor and utilize the global pressure from Rapio, but Dobbos is not biting. And if Rival aren't careful, their left side Phoenix will eventually get chipped away. Somebody has to play defense on that side.
This won't be enough. These minions here on the left won't be enough to take down the Phoenix, but they certainly can do some damage. Dobbos Disciples looking for the fight again. DineOhSaw going to be grabbed, as will Predators. Where's the follow-up? Olorun ultimate's dropped, and a big play there as DineOhSaw able to walk away thanks to some help from the ultimate. Predators here looking for the aggressive maneuver. An overpowered USB catches Rapio, gets the beads. DineOhSaw looks for the aggressive play, and it's Davey that capitalizes, putting down the solo laner.
Switch with a good ultimate, but it was only used defensively, and he's going to be the second victim from Dobbos. And even back into play defense on the left side, Phoenix just barely. Rapio saving the bird's life.
Oh, what a wonderful play there for the jungler. My question is, no.
I'm surprised that Switch was very delayed about using that Cataclysm. He used it at the very end of the fight. After two players got pulled beautifully by Colossal, that looked like it was going to go Dobbos' way the entire fight, but instead, Rival saving themselves, Scarabs busting onto Dinosaur, the great ultimate from Predators up and down, getting the Osiris passive. He becomes much tankier. Rapio was split on the side. Dobbos' attention was so divided that Rival's backliners, Fly and Davey, got off so much damage in that last fight.
Predators jumped up, but really no consequence. It's a matter of how deep they decide to go. Dobson jumped on, and that's a big consequence as Rapio falls and takes down Dobson. Two players grabbed, more defensive than anything else. Rapio's fall from the heavens is good enough to send Dobson packing. 50 seconds for the mid lane carry. Dobbos has the numbers disadvantage. Team Rival are here, 5 versus 3. Switch about to rejoin.
They definitely have the opportunity to use this power play. Switch needs to get off the Blink Cataclysm of his life. Will clear the ward first before going in, as Predators and the rest of his teammates are trying to bait. It's going to give Dobson more time to play defense if he can revive in time.
The EFG started up a third time. Again, unlikely to commit.
Good abduct.
Overpowered grab, but not a lot of follow-up damage. Predators behind enemy lines. There's the jump forward. Rapio doing what he did last time as well. Overpowered, a little bit more squishy than Dobson, and so it's going to take a little bit more than that, boys. OP USB able to find a way out. Vapor's Coast looking to send Davey packing, but has all the support in the world. Vape does get Davey, but he will trade out. Rapio, the culprit, bringing down the Juice Box Kid. And it's 4 on 4.
But look at Dobson coming back into this team fight with Rapio being that low, Davey dead. I think that maybe Dobbos can use that information to get the objective, but they're a little bit too scattered away. It's going to be a hard reset as Rival slowly dropping the ball as well. Both of these teams having the windows open, but they just can't seem to go through them.
It's hard to find these moments. I mean, those windows, like you said, they're presenting themselves. They're kind of coming haphazardly. You're seeing these, I think the Rapio Predators combo is the only pre-planned thing I've seen here. Everything else is just, oh, he's here, get him!
It's reactionary from Rival, but for good reason. DineOhSaw gets off the roots, gets off the abducts. If Rival have the positioning advantage, trying to catch OP USB, that's what enabled that combo from Predators and Rapio. All the backline damage initially was 50% of the damage, and then the frontliners dive all that damage to play cleanup crew.
Again, DineOhSaw being such an important point of this team right now. 37-37 on the clock. I like that.
3-7, 3-7.
Just, I like it. 16-17. Score as well. Gold, largely irrelevant. Players can replace their boots, but we're at the point now where it's all about the team fight. Decent damage on a switch. Not a lot. Rapio up in the sky and now looking for the target. Like to be Vapor. Oh, he's just whiffed. Yeah. Oh, he whiffed. Oh, he whiffed. He's not going to find it. But Predators and Flywheel, 2 players down. Rapio don't even need to be accurate. Left side is overpowered USB. Everybody chasing through the Olorun. And they finally get him down. 19 for Team Rival. 3 players sitting down for 50 plus. That's a Titan kill.
Oh, it should be a Titan kill, but there's a couple of towers still standing.
Oh, there's 3 Phoenixes too.
And all the Phoenixes, so Rival have to do their homework before they can give it to the teacher.
This is 1 Phoenix.
This is definitely a middle Phoenix.
Yes, without a doubt.
In a 4-on-2, Dobson no ultimate, Colossal's ultimate is coming up soon. He would have to get a really solid pal out if he wants to save his middle Phoenix.
It's going down. The question is not the middle Phoenix. The question is where to from here. Positioning makes me think fall back. I don't think we're going to see the Titan push. 24, 10, 10. That is the right call, I think. It would have taken more than 10 seconds to kill that Titan.
I agree, for sure. Despite full build from Davy and Fly, without the Fire Giant buff, it would not have been clean at all.
It might not have been clean.
If they fall there, then they definitely lose with a counter push.
You think? Yes.
All these Phoenixes being that low, they would only need to get one of them. And they can even do it without minions, as long as they can get multiple kills defending their own tire, which
If Rival didn't, sorry to cut you off there, Philly, if Rival didn't get as stomped early as they did, I think we see Rival look for the Titan. Worst case scenario, Dobbos has to take care of the tier 2s.
Sure.
But because everything's off the map, I think that's what keeps them away.
Possibly. I mean, if Rival weren't stomped so early in the game, they probably would have lost their Phoenixes to begin with, right? Like, objectively speaking, Dobbos were the ones controlling the pacing of the game until that one little misstep under the fountain, or close to the fountain out of Switch, and the non-committal Titan Siege out of Dobbos.
Well, now we truly have a tie game. Before I was saying it kind of as, you know, Gold has kind of come out and Rival has done the stall game successfully. Once you get to a certain point, your job is to stall.
Sure.
And Rival did that. And it was a moral tie, if you will. We've gotten out of that deficit. But now with the middle Phoenix down, I really like the map presence of both teams. One team fight will determine this match.
Good patience out of a Porsche Coast. He gets abducted, but he doesn't see any other Rival jerseys next to DineOhSaw, so he holds on to his defensive relic.
I like that patience. And, you know, if we can overgeneralize real quick, the younger players aren't really known for that level of patience. So I like to see it out of a Porsche Coast. Been playing here for a number of years now. Got a chance to kind of watch his gameplay grow right in front of us. And, the Juicebox kid, no slouch. Parting ways with his old teammates, Predators, DineOhSaw, Fly. Now on his own here. Dobson, DineOhSB. The world's shaking. The Susano carry. Dobbos, 4 players looking on Enhanced Fire Giant. If you're Dobbos, do you contest?
Yo, you absolutely have to. You're trying to go into the back line. This OPUSB does have Blink Colossal as well. 4 blinks exactly from Dobbos.
Rapio is going to stay off screen and look for the ultimate. Switch up in the air and is the target because he's low. Ultimate comes down and Porsche Ghost dies early. That's a big kill for Team Rival. But Dobson answers back and puts down Fly, equally as important.
Trying to catch out Davy. He's going to actually die before Scarab's Blessing is activated. Predator's trying to play Runaway Man as well. Great save out of Switch with a Gap Shield. Despite Vapor's Coast going down, it's still a Dobbos advantage in a 2-for-1. But keep in mind, this middle Phoenix is exposed and multiple members having to play defense.
Phoenixes are going to be okay here. Mid lane respawning in a matter of moments. All the birds alive for Team Rival, albeit they have been killed at least once. 42 on the clock. 10-15 minutes ago, Rival were pushing into the base. Or excuse me, Dobbos was pushing into Team Rival's base, and they got denied. And this is why it's so important. You know, we always say in these competitive games not to surrender and not to F6. Rival was down 15 foul. Lost all their Phoenixes, played one defensive set well. And now all of a sudden, it's anybody's game. Tied 20 all. Enhanced Fire Giant started by Dobbos, but Rival are here in the neighborhood.
Rapio, Anvil of Dawn will see the Fire Giant health. I don't think there was any vision to see the health pool, and that's why Rapio made that commitment. Great reset also from Dobbos, recognizing that.
Predators also getting involved, pushing Dobbos off the nonsense.
Was also waiting for Vapor's Coast to come back from his respawn, but during this time, Rival now with 5-on-5 Flying Davy making their way downtown.
Pyromancer going to be looked at easily. Team Rival not interested. And again, I like that call. Pyromancer can be a very effective lure.
It could definitely be a bait.
It is. I mean, Pyromancer at this level is getting you a ward.
It's nothing really. Like, sure, you get movement speed out of the base. But, yeah. I mean, it could matter sometimes. It's not like your Portal Demon of yesteryear.
Sure.
That was way different.
Yeah.
You get poked out. Don't worry, I'll be right back.
Overpowered USB looking for push. Side King Arthur, right side Daji, all aggressing on Merlin. There's a nice knock-up. The ultimate is strong. Gonna send him down to the ground. Khepri ultimate is there and waiting. 3 seconds left of the beads for the King Arthur. And Colossal takes down Davey the moment before beads comes up. DineOhSaw on the run. Switch will be able to knock him up. There's the dash forward. And the support player gonna fall down. 5 on 3 now, transitioning. Rapio lands, and Switch waiting with the Cataclysm. The timing on that was impeccable.
Trying to make more plays happen. I think Fly in no man's land. He's not going to get saved, but he takes out Colossal.
This is bad.
And he gets the Blood Forge proc.
This is bad.
Rival, they're the ones chasing down Dobbos now in a 5-on-3 Rival play defense.
Oh my goodness, that was, I mean, just how you like them. Extra sloppy, just messy from Dobbos' disciples. That was, you don't walk in there, half HP. Predators is gonna kill overpowered USB. Fly an inch away from killing Dobson. Down goes the enemy carry. Switch gets stunned out. Rapio's gonna be able to take down Switch. Now, with all this said, Tolly, it's taking far too long to actually put these players in a casket.
Uh-oh, he gets the shield off. He needs literally one more basic attack. Good spin prevents the knock-up, and just like that, everyone but OP USB falls, and Rival can reclaim the middle Phoenix, but instead are going to go for a Fury? I'm surprised.
I'm not. You've got King Arthur there to play D. Colossal will be up in 10 seconds with the powwow.
That middle Phoenix is at a weakened state. I think with Fly's damage, as long as DineOhSaw is tanking that Phoenix, I think it goes down. But granted, Fly not super healthy there, was heavily relying on his Blood Forge in that last team fight. He gets 2 procs off of it, despite how long it took him to kill out Dobson. At the end of the day, he claims his life.
Dobbos' disciples. Do you agree here, Tolly? I think Dobbos' disciples having the 2 kills was clear. Push a right Phoenix.
Based on the positioning, I agree with you.
And maybe even push into the Titan 5-on-3. Now you can talk about Rapio ultimate and how that'll impact the Titan defense, and we obviously already saw Dobbos die once pushing, so that might be why we saw them be a little gun shy here. But the walk into the jungle, I mean, this is a full build AMC, man.
Oh yeah.
This is a full build Thor.
The bees and the honey on top of it, down that corridor, all that AoE damage enabled Rival to come back 3-on-5. A great distraction from Rapio with the Anvil of Dawn, but Rival are the ones going to force the issue around the Fire Giant.
Predators here with 60%. There's the knockup coming out from Vapor's Coast. Switch flings forward, finds a couple, and Dobson lays down the field. Predator's gonna go down, but Rapio gets a kill first. It's a 1-for-1. Rapio finds the double kill as Overpowered goes down. Dobson in the sights of the Thor man now. Knockup is momentary. The hammer is better, but the stinger comes in, and the triple kill stolen away. Now, it's a 4-on-2. Team Rival have to take care of this right side tower. After that, they can probably get a Phoenix. I don't think they can walk in and win. Actually, those are 50 seconds. I forgot. We're 47 minutes into this one. This is absolutely on the menu.
It's doable.
Rival, it's doable. That's the word I want to use.
With an Oni wave on top of it, the right side Phoenix melts like a hot knife through butter, and Rival are gonna look to try to go for the end. Will clean up the middle Phoenix to slightly chip away at the Titan's protections and health.
There it is. 2 Phoenixes down, pushing in here. Colossal trying to play defense switch as well, but Davey takes one down, and I think that's gonna be it. Titan falls, and it's Team Rival answering back.
With 52 kills in 48 minutes, Rival, they hold on to their own Titan, getting Dobbos' Titan in response. Clean defense. This is the difference between teams like Rival and Dobbos. We saw how mechanically gifted Vaporish Coast and the rest of his teammates were at the beginning of the game, but you have to control the mid portion. There's somebody that needs to play shot calling to make the correct ending choices.
I'm with you, Anatoly. I think obviously we saw the mechanics necessary, and we saw some good decisions, but we saw some bad decisions. IGL got to clean it up just a little bit. Right now, we definitely have a series, though. They're up 1-0. We'll be right back.
Skillshot, the official production partner of the SMITE Console League.
Brutal loss here for Dobbos Disciples in a game that, honest to goodness, was in their hands around the 25-minute mark or so, and ends up slipping away from them after siege fails, and they try and break the base of Rival. But congrats to Rival, man, for holding on in what was honestly a tough matchup where they kind of got snowballed in the early game. To help me break it down, I got Ryan Aggro Bailey here next to me. Do you like, is that the right characterization here for this one, or what'd you see in this game?
Yeah, I mean, Dobbos Disciples did a lot well, but ultimately
the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, the first, I mean, they had all three Phoenixes down at some point. How many games have we seen where teams actually lose from that position? We're
Very
talking one hand.
Yeah.
We can count those in all of competitive Smite. And Dobbos Disciples just couldn't close it out. I think that their lack of siege potential on this composition, their comp did a lot well. It team fought very well. But when it came to time to actually killing objectives and diving these towers, it's tough to do, man. I mean, Vaporish Coast got off to such a good start. Then ends up kind of falling down a little bit towards the later end of the game. Still able to make a lot of plays. He had so many close calls where he dies after killing someone, but then Rapio or Fly or Davey gets away with one sliver of HP. It was that's a tough loss for Dobbos for sure.
And I know that it's Fly that put up the stupidly high numbers, by the way, 46,000 damage. But for me, this is DineOhSaw and Rapio that I think were the big stabilizing forces in this game. That Scarab's Blessing, time in and time out. Got Predators just barely out when he should have been able to make it out. Got Fly out of there. Rapio was hitting some sick ult in that late game, too. 2- and 3-man stuns at minimum that were turning the game around for them as well. And things just got out of reach for Dobbos in the other direction.
Agreed. I mean, this is when we talk about how important experience is to a team and being in the league for a long time and having this level of competitive experience, this is the stuff we're talking about. I mean, if this is a team that hasn't been together for a long time or hasn't played in these situations before, this game was over 27 minutes in. But it really hats off to Rival for their defense and the way they played it. And Dobbos Disciples need to do a better job of understanding when things are starting to slip away, how can we slow down the pace of the game again, get back to what we were doing well, and see if we can find a victory.
And it's hard not to say that there was a little bit too much, I think, fighting. Just like fighting around when they already gotten the Phoenixes, just kind of sticking around, expecting to wipe them really easily. When Rival weren't going to be easy targets for them. Instead, maybe pick between all inning, trying the Titan, or pull back, and farm in the jungle and spending your gold. I think they spent a little bit too much time kind of waffling in between. And it hurt Dobbos in that game. We're speaking about this as if it is over. The set is not over by any means, right?
No.
And the way that Dobbos played the early game, I think actually is really bolstering for them.
Agreed.
My man Coast got camped, right?
Yes.
And still managed to turn back around on the Susano and work. So I think Dobbos have a chance. It just feels a bit morbid after the way that game ended.
Yeah, I'll be honest. We saw the first few deaths happen for Coast and Lane, and I walk out of the room to go get a snack or something like that, and I come back and he's 3 levels up and just soloed Davey. He's 5-2 all of a sudden.
Right.
What happened? mentioned, I mean, he still has that potential. And I agree with you. I think an early game like that, I mean, if you didn't watch a lot of game one and it's, oh, Rival's up 1-0, of course, this is our expected result.
Right.
So the fact that it took that much work from Rival to get there, I think should be a big boon for Dobbos.
I think it should be too. Hopefully they can make this work, as they're picking this Olorun first overall again. And I have questions about putting this back into the middle lane here for Dobson again. I'm not saying Dobson played it poorly, but I feel like you put the most important cooldowns on the map in the hands of your best player, and that's Vaporish Coast.
Yes, but it doesn't have to be in the mid lane this time. I mean, you can leave the draft open here, and I agree. I would like to see it over there in the long lane for Vaporish Coast. Zhong, Khepri, AMC, though, is really scary from Rival, man. I mean, I don't know. The Merlin ban switch up. Rival decide to go with this Zhong this time around instead of the Thor early on. This is scary, though. This Kumbhakarna pick does do a lot to put me at ease. Switch fell pretty far behind that game. Definitely did not make the same level of impact as we saw from DineOhSaw. If he's able to remedy that and have a better game, too, this Kumbhakarna can outright win Dobbos the game. Eject the Zhong as soon as he ults, eject the Khepri as soon as you need to get a kill, and Dobbos could be just fine.
For what it's worth, I think Rival has played the first ban phase really well. This is twice now they've done this. They've done this Jingwei, Thoth, Odin banning, and that's what's allowed so much quality stuff to filter over to them. Because Dobbos, I mean, they banned Merlin, Isis, Set. I don't know what more you can ask these guys to do, so I think Rival have found a good home for themselves in this pick ban phase so far, as Hachiman comes in yet again, which makes me think it actually might potentially be this Hachiman for Vaporish Coast. He likes to play it.
He does. He does like to play it, but it is a god that can be put mid lane. Not your traditional hunter in the mid. It's not on her or AMC or Neath, but can still get the job done.
Yeah, we've even seen Chiron's in the middle lane. Work really well for them as the Chernobog whom Batz comes through for Rival. This Fear No Evil is a huge tool now that puts a lot of pressure, I think, onto Rapio to make sure that he's finding critical targets for it. Kumbhakarna plus the person you actually want to kill sounds pretty good to me.
Ares' last pick for Dobbos looks pretty good to me. Not a lot of CC immune ultimates. This will be solo Ares, I want to say.
I guess so.
Maybe no, solo Thor, jungle Ares makes a lot more sense. Let's do it that way. Dobbos, I like that comp a lot more with it. I like their composition. I mean, it's really up to how well Predators can pilot the Zhong. He got off to a great start in lane, soloed out USB, but then USB had a great team fighting phase in the mid game. That's going to be important.
Lot riding on multiple players here in this game to make it work. A big Xbox EU matchup. Let's see if it ends here.
Everything is purple. That's what I said as we jumped into game one. It's what I'm saying as we jump into game two. I'll see if the purple swag comes out for Team Rival. This time around, Vaporish Coast playing something a little bit more traditional for the young gun. He's going to be on the Hachiman. Davey playing another carry as well, another hunter, I should specify. Fly still on the AMC, and Dobson still on the Olorun, as they really shouldn't change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Honestly, totally. All 10 players did it for me last game. I don't think I'm pointing to somebody and saying, you played poorly, and so we got to change it up. It's all X's and O's. It's like like we mentioned, in-game leadership was a little bit rocky.
A little bit.
Again, for both teams.
I agree.
So for game two, I think both teams just need to clean it up just a little bit. And just move on from there. Like I said, I was not disappointed in anybody's play. The builds we even took, I feel like that was a match that I was nicer than I've been in 5 years in commentary. Like, y'all played wonderfully. Just figure out your game plan a little bit.
I agree, yeah. 52 kills in 48 minutes. Both of these teams were aggressive and timely aggression. There was just a slight bit of a difference of cleanness overall, as Rival are the more experienced team, more synergy and chemistry between that team, so a lot of trust in each other. They've been through the ringer for a lot longer of a period as opposed to Dobbos that is relatively newly formed in Season 6.
Switch getting grabbed here. Nice damage. Too low a level.
Yeah, Fly also missing out on that Beast Swarm because of the abduct positioning Switch away.
Slow. The slow's good. Dobson in trouble here.
He'll be all right. I think it's Switch that might be in trouble.
The bees hit him this time. And again,
spreads.
Just 1 or 2 levels too soon. If we see this play level 3, level 4, that player dies. So Team Rival, with the aggression that they need, the players might not die, but they'll be poked out. They'll be using some of their resources by way of green pots. So certainly not a song unsung, although a kill not recorded.
A lot of damage over time in Rival's composition. Zhong, a Muzen Cobb, this Khepri. I would love to see some HP 5 maybe from a Dobbos, specifically Sovereignty Aura wouldn't be too bad. Even Runic Shield would be pretty good from literally anybody in Dobbos to reduce the damage from Predators and even DineOhSaw.
Big changes here for the solo lane. As I said, the mid lane, the exact same characters. The carry role, going back to the traditional hunters. But our solo lane, I think, is the most different here. Predators trading out the Osiris here for the big man, and OverPoweredUSB trading out the King Arthur here for an Ares. So a very different approach here from the solo laners. When I look towards the other positions, I see very, very similar stuff. It really is just a solo that's different.
The Ares, it doesn't matter if it's solo lane or jungle or support, those flames are going to clear the minions much easier now with some of the changes. That percent damage health was not always able to be applied onto the minions, making them more enticing in the non-support roles. And this pick specifically is very good against Khepri, preventing the abduct, crippling him, no CC immunity in that kit. It's very easy to get the no escape off.
That's really what he's going to be looking for amongst the enemy team. Predators, no built-in CC immunity. Rapio, no built-in CC immunity. Fly, DineOhSaw.
This is good. Yeah.
All the same. Davey gets it on the ultimate?
Davey, yes, he'll be able to avoid the no escape.
Other than that, though, everybody else going to be a sitting duck. And actually, Davey is, it's got to be timed correctly. It's not like DaJi, where once you're CC immune, that's it. If Davey ults to get away from the Ares, but gets nabbed by the chain and lands quickly enough,
yeah,
Ares can pull him from the other side of the building.
Just got to wait it out a little bit. There's about a 1.5 seconds before the animation is completed from the no escape, and you're in the air much longer than 1.5 seconds because you get to choose the targeter, and then even then, while you're going to that target, the travel time extends the technical duration of the CC immunity.
Travel time pretty quick, though. Davey, zoom. Right on back. Zoom. Zoom. That's totally when he's on the Stairmaster. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
No, actually, I keep a nice moderate pace, you know. I go for just longer durations.
Yeah?
More of a marathoner, not a sprinter.
I believe that. How many stairs does the Burge kill? I'm sorry, folks. We're in the early throes of the game, and a little bit more of a calculated match that we saw in game number one. Game number one was a fight fest. Everybody just wanted to go in. Predators right now gets an invitation, and ultimate or nah might take down Colossal, big damage. Switch is gonna miss the yawn and get crowd controlled by Rapio. Oh man. Dobbos Disciples with a pocket full of almost.
Literally the only reason Predator survives is because he neglects boots to finish off the Pythax piece. The lifesteal enables him to survive, and this could even be turnaround potential. Switch got slowed, gets abducted, but the OP USB cripple stops the abduct.
Meanwhile, Predators has the Khepri ult.
I like this.
Wait. Now. Do it. Zoom. Overpowered USB with the first blood. Love the patience.
Oh, yes. And DineOhSaw was about to get the kill with Switch getting abducted, but this Ares chains the cripple, stops him in his track. Predators was following up.
Yep.
All those tools were not available for Rival after they had to save Predators the first time around.
We talked about how susceptible Team Rival was to the Ares ultimate because of lack of CC immunity built into their kits. But how about the fact that Cripple is pretty devastating? Predators and Fly don't have to worry about it. But Rapio, DineOhSaw, and Davey, I mean, DineOhSaw, it's a main part of his kit, both offensive and defensive. Rapio, known for using the monkey jump offensively. That's not going to be available. And Davey, Chernobog's live and die on that shadow dance. You walk into the wall knowing that you could wait things out and play with that. Not going to be able to if you get chained up. I really like this choice by Dobbos Disciples here. Overpowered USB, absolutely the type of guy that can play it. And Toli, the build, talking to my heart. Stay aggressive, baby.
Pen boots?
Purple boots all day. Hell, I like purple boots even if you're playing support Ares, bringing out early games where your damage is coming. But into the Pythax piece, That's keeping it aggro.
Oh yeah, that Pythax piece will apply into the Ares passive, so you're getting 40 additional magical power. Davey just waiting out his purple buff before he picks up the red one. And it's important to get that penetration as Ares, whether it's support or otherwise. No matter how much utility you might want out of the solo laner, because that's your role as a solo laner, is, you know, that Swiss Army knife. It's about being able to extend that into just straight up raw damage, and that's something that Ares will provide.
Big stuff coming out from Dobbos' disciples so far. They're going to collapse in the mid lane. No play. Davey back to the lane. Zoom! He's ulted back to that lane every single time. Sort of pseudo Jingwei, right?
In a way. Passive versus ultimate. Big difference, but...
In a way?
Like...
In a... Jingwei? Like the joke?
Is that a specific direction, or...
Like, no.
Or is that a name that we're using?
I was just saying it sounds something.
Ah.
It's very interesting when teams kind of switch it up here, Anatoly. Especially when you have such a fast-paced game to go this slow. I think it's a little bit expected with Rapio on the Jungle Monkey instead of a early game character. A lot of these choices for Team Rival a little bit later than their counterparts.
I agree. I think that once team fights roll around, Rival, that's their strength, is utilizing all 5 members in one big death ball. And Dobbos' disciples are going to try to isolate one individual member between the global pressure from ColossxI, the chains from OPUSB, the epic uppercut out of Switch. They could get a lot of damage off, though, in objectives. That's another theme Dobbos has going for them. You have Dobson with Olorun, Vapor's Coast on the Hachiman, heavily banner, giving 15% extra attack speed. Could help these 2 hyper carries burn through the objectives.
Well, right now, Dobbos on the other side, they're the ones I'd like to see a little bit more aggressive. The game isn't always about getting these ganks off, but at the same time, I do want to see ColossxI be a little bit active. He's got the Thor selection. He's going to be available. As long as Rapio's not in the lane, you can kind of look for whatever you want. I would like to see Dobbos be a little bit more aggro here, but they're kind of playing passive.
But that's something that ColossxI did in the last game as well. He ganked the solo laner Predators on the Osiris, and he did it again in game 2. He's only doing it once, though.
Big difference between the Thor and the Dodgy, though.
A little bit. I think the global pressure can enable more ganks, but it's about the quality sometimes, not the quantity. There has to be a reason to get some of these ganks off. Against a CC or no CC immunity from Predators quite yet, no beats picked up. I think there is that timing window open for Dobbos to be aggressive, and they're not opting for it quite yet. ColossxI finishing off their Brawler Speed Stick could be a good power spike play, limiting the healing comeback from Predators.
All right, now, Dobbos' disciples are going to be looking for anything they can get. 1 kill only on the board, and a tie game as far as our gold is concerned. 200 gold is less than you get for a tower here, folks. So not a big celebrative moment. But overpowered versus Predators. Jane's missing, man.
It's harder to hit it when it's at mid-range, honestly, so I don't blame OPUSB. And the fact that he's got it on cooldown, he's just keeping himself far enough away from Predators that he doesn't get stunned out.
Big play here, Gold Fury, surprise. Switch is aware, but DineOhSaw is done, so there's nothing anybody can do about it. Fear no evil just for fun, just in case somebody blinked, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
I think,
you know,
Switch could have easily blinked in and made it annoying, but not that much vision from Rival, so they were kind of doing that in the dark.
You want to know what, Toli? That's the example. I always bring up the brick through the window. You want to see the police's kind of answer time, right? Well, what if the response? Nope, nobody showed up.
Yeah,
just finish it, guys. Easy problem, easy peasy. And I want to go to the Rapio ultimate onto the Gold Fury. I hate that play if it's game number 1. I love that play because it's game number 2. And it's all about pace of the game. If it's game number 1, not meaning game 1 versus 2, I mean the actual game that we had. The game that we had with all those kills and how frequent it was. If I see Rapio use that ultimate, I'm fighting right away. We're going for it because I know Fear no Evil's not there.
Sure.
And we've kind of set this precedent of always in, always aggressive. This is a much slower game. Rapio ults knowing nobody's going to fight until his ult comes back up, that is totally fine. And I think the reason I bring that up is to illustrate the difference. You can't say, very rarely can you speak in absolutes with SMITE. Very rarely can you say, that's a good play all of the time, that's a bad play all of the time. It's scenario specific, as are your selections, as are your team movements. So Team Rival there, taking the Gold Fury in the dark, as you said. Probably a mistake in game number 1 with how active we were, but it works out here.
And it's also a matter of how early or late in the game it is. This early on, it's hard for Dobbos to really get much off of the back of the ultimate from Rapio being expended. They did grab the tier 1 mid tower, but I don't think it was because of the Fear No Evil not available. Rival were just conceding that. They were all backing anyway, not in position to play defense. So despite getting that objective, Dobbos are still keeping it very close. They have the team fighting possibilities now. There's beads available for Predators, so even if he does get pulled by OPUSB, he should still be A-okay. A nice little Stone of Binding pickup to apply penetration because he went for Shoes of Focus, so having some more CDR in that category.
The slows do not proc binding, correct?
No, it does.
Oh, it is?
It applies
Slows do.
crowd control.
Okay.
So anything getting hit by crowd control will place the debuff. Slows are the crowd control.
That's a big deal. Not only is it on the card, but sometimes we see the Gem of Isolation come out specifically from solo lane. Zhong, we'll see if that remains to be the case, yet to be bought. But of course, the stun also available. So Predators has a number of ways to bring out the extra penetration for his squad. We like to see that. That's exactly the type of itemization that you're looking for out of your solo laner, the kind of utility. I always call the solo laner the Swiss Army knife. You want to bring what you're missing, and solo laners have a tendency to do that.
We're talking about all the dots from Team Rival as my answers have been made. Being picked up was the sovereignty from Switch there. That HP5 going to go a long way with only Dobson having that healing from the Olorun. That HP5 is going to just allow more members to survive through that damage over time. Power Man's going to be looked at. I think Rapio will... No. Not going to use the ultimate this time.
Thor goes up, Colossal looking for it, jumped away by Rapio, beautiful read, and the monkey gets out.
Rotation, right side of the map, Davies here, 5-on-4 for
I don't
Rival.
like it.
It's a 5-on-4 though.
I don't like it, now I like it, monkey ultimate goes down, OPUSB in trouble, able to wiggle his way out till Predator says no, and Rival answer back. That was a lot for one kill. I think Rival expected more.
Probably, and this teleport is so important to stop the split pushing from Vaporish Coast. Obviously playing the Hachiman, so he can't match the rotation from Davey. That was his best play to try to get that 500 gold, but Predator stopping him in his tracks.
15 minutes in here, and we're tied up at 1. That said, Team Rival have about 1,000 gold lead above the opposition. They did take game number 1, but it was hard fought. Active 45-minute game. Team Rival, however, slowing this one down, playing a little bit more safe and sound, cautious and careful. Dobbos on the other side have done so as well. I like their picks a little bit better, them being Dobbos, compared to game number 1. It just seems stuff that they're a little bit more comfortable on. I'm mainly looking at Vaporish Coast, who, that said, didn't have a bad game on the Susano.
Yeah, he looked comfortable, I think, on the Susano anyway, despite that couple of early deaths because of no beats before level 12.
Sure.
He still was executing his game plan, which was to bully out Davey in the 1v1 on the Susano. He had control of this matchup as Rival, yet again, walking away like bandits.
Rival able to take the Gold Fury unceremoniously. Dobbos Disciples sitting on their hands right now. Could they have contested that Gold Fury? Probably not. Too many people there, I think. But I want to see them do something. Thor is a do-something character. Thor is a god that gets it going. Thor is a dude that needs to be ulting. And frankly, I am not going to call lack of action, I'm not going to call inaction of a Thor a mistake. But I'm so close to it, Tully. I'm so close to it. Being level 15 at this point,
Yeah.
there are gankable targets.
Well, now it's too late because Predators
Right.
has the beads. I think if you were ever going to gank, it would have been onto Predators before he picks up the beads. Predators will get pulled in. No real rotation there. I think OPUSB was expecting the use of the beads, but it was already on cooldown, so Predators could not have used it.
Well, now here's the 5-on-4. Davey comes all the way from the left-hand side. Overpowered USB in trouble. The dots won't be enough. Full retreat here. Team Rival watches their tier 1 falls down. Before you talked about how important the rotation was to save that tier 1. And although Rival can't save it and catch it, they're going to answer back with a tier 1 of themselves on the right-hand side.
That Living Nightmare used to continue the 5-on-4 pressure on the solo lane side. Vapor's Costo getting some good levels for himself, finishing off the fail now, getting that extra critical strike chance. Is never a bad thing. Gonna apply some of that to his teammates as well after he does use that ultimate. An extra 15% crit chance on a Thor. Sure, please. You know, more power there.
I'll take it.
I think that Dobbos are happy with that trade. Trading 2 towers evenly there. Vapor's Coast getting closer to the late game.
That's sad. The lead for Team Rival keeps growing. Dobson going to be grabbed. Rapio and Davey are here, but neither are close enough to really find the kill. Predators looking for the wraparound. Walks over a ward so that he might be ready, but nobody's paying attention. Frenzy's popped. Predators on the back line. Dobson, Aegis is good for the moment, but the dots get him from afar. ColossxI takes him down, but the tier 1 tower already eaten. A 1-for-1. Rival get it and then some with the tower toppling. And it's a 2,500 gold lead for the blue team.
There could be some more pressure coming out of Dobbos. They barely used any ultimates on that defense. Tier 1 tower from middle was taken earlier after that Gold Fury, so Dobbos can't claim that one. A little too eager, I think, to go for Fire Giant. Dobbos, I think, waiting out for the Pyromancer respawn instead.
Right now, Overpowered going to get beats from Rapio. Not a bad look here. And Davey trying to catch up. Overpowered grabbed, but the rest of his team from the left side. Scary. Ares walking away.
Good beads. Also, Dinosaur was going to get stunned out. Up in the sky is ColossxI, who's the target.
Safe. No! Aggressive! He's by himself! Oh no. Oh no, not now.
Dinosaur's no mana though, so I kind of respect that call, honestly. Predators.
But you know Rapio's around the corner.
Sure.
It's scaring me.
It's a little worrisome. That's not too worrisome.
You know, as someone that was asking Thor to gank all game and now finally he goes aggressive, I'm sitting there saying no.
There's certain factors you always have to consider. When he has all that vision from the top side, he knows who is immediately there to respond. Dinosaur had no mana. Davey was a little susceptible, so it's getting poked out. I think he just wanted to get beats. He's like, I already used my ultimate. I might as well land anyway. What are the chances of me dying? Less than 5%, knowing it's only a 10%
Sure.
mana Khepri and a Chernobog.
It just looks silly, that's all.
Yeah, it's just he's trying to get value from his ulti, maybe get a defensive relic or two.
Yeah, you're trying to stack that play of damage.
I don't think it's that serious. I don't think it'd be like that. But sometimes it do.
Thanks, Tully. 20 minutes in, and we're tied at 2 apiece. Team Rival with 1,000 gold lead, which was previously 2,500. And Dobbos able to chip away. They brought it all the way down to 1,000. Team Rival answer back with another 500 here or there. So I'd say 1,500, give or take, wave to wave. The next move for either team, Gold Fury is set to respawn in about 10 seconds. And this is the old-fashioned Gold Fury, but I think this is when Gold Fury is its most relevant versus Primal and Oni. This is when you want the Gold Fury.
Yes.
When it's a 1,500 gold lead for one team. This is what you want, because that Gold Fury either takes 1,500 gold lead to a real lead,
Yeah.
or ties it up for the team in behind.
And not only that, as the game progresses, every single minute the Gold Fury becomes more valuable. So this is a good timing as well. Davey not able to get that tier 1 tower, trying to make a team fight happen on the right side, but it looks like Dobbos doing a good job separating away.
Do you go for that tower? Do you stay for the extra 2 basics?
Only if you know who exactly is there.
Fire Giant started and Frenzy popped. Switch goes in and uses the ultimate, but it's an immune. Beautiful play there from Team Rival. Switch on the bed, and he'll go to sleep. Davey re-energized, and Colossal takes down Predators. So a 1-for-1, 2 tanks.
Vapor's Coast could chase them down with the mounted archery. Will apply a couple of slows there. Colossal looking for a stun from a distance. Crippled out is going to be DineOhSaw. Aegis even being used from Davey.
Dobbos playing aggressively. What'd he miss?
He missed the abduct, and that's going to be an instant kill in response. DineOhSaw a little bit too far overextended.
You know what? That's the one I'll go to bat for DineOhSaw for. You know, he's got a, again, we don't have the exact stats here, but he's got a 98% hit chance on that.
You gonna Gandhi it?
Yeah, man. I think that's the first abduct he's missed in the 2 games that we've watched. So, go for it.
Rapio in a lot of trouble trying to contest it. At least we'll get one
Bless
kill, and they find it.
Fly. Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, a little bit too far away for the last hit. All the bodies from Dobbos was preventing the basic attacks. I think the bees and the honey was already used. Unlucky.
Dobbos disciples take their Fire Giant walk on home. Overpowered USB won't have it. You could argue that's the least important person to have the Fire Giant. You might say, Tom, why not the support? Overpowered can always TP back in.
Vapor's Coast forced to use those relics to get away from Predators. Not able to make anything happen there. Switch was thinking about making that rotation as well. And the first 2 Furies went the way of Rival. Looks like lucky number 3, despite Dobbos being the ones with the Fire Giant.
Easy job there. DineOhSaw zones out, and that keeps the enemies at bay. DineOhSaw likely to trade his life. No, he's tanky.
They need these kills.
Yeah.
They need something here with the Fire Giant. They can't just lose an objective and not get anything out of it.
Well, I mean, they've got a number of minutes here. I think they can get a tier 2. Right?
If it's only DineOhSaw playing defense, I think so. It looks like Fly's trying to make that rotation as well, but based off of their positioning, they will concede it.
Tully, this is a tier 2 that I think I defend.
Yeah,
My
but
players
it was only
aren't
2.
My players aren't in position, and that's
They should have been in position.
exactly that's where I'm getting at. Like another kind of drop from the IGL.
Yeah, Rapio with his ultimate, but then again, their relics are not up. Beads not available for 5 seconds, 15 on the blink. A Hunbat's without the blink engage becomes harder to play defense. You would have to kind of wait out the engage and then look for the flank.
Rough stuff there. Not going to be going their way for sure. 25 minutes on the clock, 9 kills. Dobbos with 5 of them, tied up otherwise.
But honestly, based on the way they played the last game, I'm not too mad about it. They could play defense with, what, 13 to 15,000 gold behind and still win game 1. Yeah, sure, give up tier 2. You're still up gold, actually. Well, now they're not, after the Pyromancer. But they're fine.
The back to base will have a brief pause in the action real quick as we get back into it. 25-20 on the clock as we see a tie game for all intents and purposes. And if I ask you, Anatoly, Team Rival taking game number 1, do you expect them to take the second game the way they postured?
I think so. I like the fact that Rapio's playing the Hunt Bats. Thus far, we haven't really seen too much value out of this ultimate, securing the Gold Fury that was kind of like a ghost. But it's the thought that counts, right? Like, he's willing to kind of use it at any given moment, and there's so many other follow-ups that can be had after that, right? Zhong going into the back line, DineOhSaw with crazy amounts of CC. Dobbos needs to be mindful about this Hunbats.
Back into it, Davey will take the tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. And the tier 2 is going to be on the menu as well.
Oh no, Vapor's Coast dashes in!
And gets put out.
Oh no, that's the worst mistake you can make. He wanted to get closer to the tier 2 tower to play defense, but he's taken the aggressive pathing. He didn't beat the CC or mounted archery away.
Frenzy's popped, and Rival going to be aggressive here. Looking out for Overpowered and Predators on the back line. There's the ultimate out of the Zhong, and it's going to do a ton of damage to Dobson. Overpowered looking to grab 1. Colossal takes down Predators, and DineOhSaw could be next. Big damage on the switch. He'll go into the passive, and the bird goes down. Rival trade out their solo later, and that's it for the Phoenix. That's what you're looking for.
Much slower game than the last one, but a much faster Phoenix this time around, and it was Rival, the team without the Fire Giant, making the plays. Vapor's Coast still scratching his head, I think, after that last one, wondering what went wrong as he fell. The rest of Rival instantly capitalizing.
Yeah, that's the moment where, don't forget, the dash at the end of Hachiman, the Iaijutsu is a stun.
Yeah.
He's looking,
He wanted to get closer to the Tier 2 tower. That's the only explanation I can make for him. But if you're trying to do that, why not even just use mounted archery? Because the dash is so short, you would still going to have to walk there anyway. By going in there on a red carpet, which is the mounted archery, you're also distracting Davey from maybe getting the shots off of the Tier 2 tower. You're going to slow him. He's going to try to run away from the tower.
I hear you. Fire Giant due to respawn here in a matter of seconds. 25 to be exact. Team Rival with the keys in the ignition. Dobbos Disciples, however, have map control here. Stationary in the pit first. They're down 2,000 gold, which is absolutely a way that you can fight into this. Colossal trying to provide some sort of crowd control. I hate it.
It's a waiting game. Dobbos don't want to pull the trigger yet until the fire minions on the left side of the map get a little bit closer. Well, at least Rival don't want to do anything about it. Dobbos, they're going to have to send somebody over there unless they want to lose their Titan.
So much vision here from both teams. Nobody's doing anything in secret. Predator's wrapping around the backside. Even he'll be noticed. You can see Dobson moving to the left. Switch dashing back, and here comes Predators all the way here. Dobson drops the Sanctified Field, but Switch is dropped first. Pull-in is good. Here comes Davey. Rival have the wheel. And Overpowered is getting run over. Great play there by Davey. 2-0-3 for the carry. And Team Rival not looking at the Fire Giant any longer. Looking up mid lane?
Yeah, I think they can get a Tier 2 tower in the meantime. Maybe even go for a Phoenix. Colossal forced it back to play defense on those fire minions. Fire Giant, if you wait it out a little bit longer, it's about to be enhanced at the 30-minute mark.
That's what I was thinking. If that's not the case, I think we see them immediately go for fire.
Possibly. There's still time. OPUSB up in 25, 12 for Switch, but instead, I think just either going to set up an ambush or actually just get the Fire Giant before it becomes enhanced. Because if you do it now, at least you know you get it guaranteed. There's no 3-on-5 defense that Dobbos is about to do.
I kind of want to wait 30 seconds.
If you do wait, then Dobbos does have all 5 members to play defense, but the one thing Rival have going for them is this left side exposed Phoenix.
Some interesting tech. The Fire Giant will turn to Enhanced Fire Giant even if already in combat.
Yes, so you could get a low. I like that idea.
That's where I would like to see that. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
I'm there. It is absolutely not as guaranteed as the play we just saw. And if you're playing safe, elimination point, that's probably the better call.
So keeping aggro of Fire Giant in being very specific here. If you're going to pull the Fire Giant 30 seconds into it before it transforms, the way Rival killed it, I think they did it in about 15 seconds or so. So you're going to have to hold on to aggro for another 15 seconds. Number one, there's still potential.
Yep.
Number two, you're taking a whole bunch of AoE damage as well, and Dobbos can maybe just let you get the EFG and then try to clean you up. So the risk becomes almost not worth the reward.
I would have made the call to pull at 45 seconds.
Okay.
Is what I would have made the call to pull at. And I think that you can position yourself as Rival kind of aggressively. That said, I'm an aggressive player. That's what we do, baby. I was brought back as we see the retreat. Once upon a time, Toli, me, and the rest of the commentators did some Dungeons and Dragons on stream. You can actually go find some of the VODs if you look hard enough. And I was just thinking back there and how aggressive I was all the time. We walked into a potion shop. And I tried to steal everything.
Yeah, you did that, didn't you? And Kret was trying to get you to
not do it.
To stop.
And I was like, no.
To reconsider your options. And once you committed to your options, There was a brick wall ahead of you.
I really wanted the enhanced fire charge. Okay, that's what it comes down to.
Well, did you get it?
No. Team Rival, though, they get the regular old Fire Giant, and it just might be good enough. They're sitting up 6,000 gold above their opposition. And last time, they crawled back from a 10,000 plus gold deficit. If any team can do it with a regular Fire Giant, many teams can. In fact, that's the norm. Jokes aside, though, here, Anatoly. The 4-1 split push. Half HP on the bird already.
I like it.
DineOhSaw leading the charge. Rapio making his way into the mid lane. That'll drag over at least one. Overpowered USB going to be defending here. Usually it's jungle for jungle.
Usually.
Now we've got solo for jungle.
USB can still clear very effectively. Up in the sky is going to be Colossal. Retreating is Rival.
Love this play. They just negated this Thor ult.
Yep. Getting some value out of it, proccing the Mad Guy's cloak, instantly hammering away. But now, Rival can commit knowing Thor has no ulti.
Overpowered gonna go in and grab nobody. Nice CC immunity from the entirety of the team. Switch knocks one up, and it's Predators. He's real tanky, and Fly avoids the Dobson ultimate. Rapio takes care of OP USB on the back end. Fly takes care of one on the front end. Davey puts Dobson down over the top. And the Titan being sieged now. Double kill for the carry. Vaporous Coast sits down. And Team Rival took game number 1. They're going to take game number 2 here. It's all Team Rival.
This is the difference between in-game leading of these two teams. 18 kills in 33 minutes as opposed to the 52 that we had in 48 minutes of play. Rival are cleaner about ending games when that window is presented to them.
Absolutely. We saw what happened was last time in game number 1, Rival needed all that time because they were clawing out from the deficit that they were put underneath. You give them a lead, and they absolutely know what to do with it.
As they should. They forced out that Thor ultimate at the end there, scattered away, didn't get any value from it. Without that sort of control, they were hoping to get in there. Great save, by the way, onto Predators. He was going in there with his ultimate. He took way too much damage from the Phoenix, but DineOhSaw barely saving him at the nick of time.
Again, DineOhSaw, just I love the way this guy plays. 0-1 and 10. That's what I'm looking for out of a slash line. You know, the itemization even coming through in the clutch. I got 2 hunters. Let me buy a Kusari. Relic Dagger is going to help bring out the frenzy a little bit more often. Again, man, I'm looking at DineOhSaw. I love the way this guy is played, and I have historically.
Yeah, and this is now Rival continuing their undefeated streak. They're now 7-0 after 8 weeks of competition, and being able to consistently beat out Dobbos is a good look for them because that is their strongest competition.
Fantastic stuff so far. Halfway through the day, we'll be back with more console action.